Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. We are going to talk about starting up a business. Welcome to another session of Startup Convo. Hey, I just want to let everyone know if you're tuning in here, I'm doing this live. So as I'm doing this live, feel free to leave comments, ask me any questions that you have about how to start up a business. But first of all, let me introduce myself here. So I'm Daniel McCrane. I'm the Chief Growth Strategist with McCrane Associates. I work with businesses just like yours to implement strategies that generate tens of thousands of dollars of revenue and profit without spending additional money on marketing or advertising. Now, I tend to work with businesses that are already established. I don't tend to work with startups very often. I've been getting a lot of questions about how to start a business lately, though. And so I do want to make sure that if you are trying to start up a business, that you get the resources and the information that you need. I want you to be able to ask questions and find out what it is that you need so you can get your business started. So I'm doing this live. I'm giving you the opportunity to ask me anything at all that comes up that you want to know about. Just go ahead and interrupt me, type a comment in the chat there, and I'll see that pop up on my screen. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have while we're going live. I do have some information that I'm going to share with you today. So a little bit of a business lesson here as we're going through things. So I'm happy to share this with you. But at the same time, if I'm talking and you've got a question you want to ask, feel free just to type away. I'll see that pop up on my screen, and I'm happy to stop whatever it is I'm talking about and address your questions. Because as we're doing this live, your questions are what's most important. And chances are, if you've got the question, somebody else does too. So please feel free to ask away. Don't be concerned about whether your question is not valid or anything like that. And also, if you happen to be catching this video after the fact, if you're watching this after we've gone live and it's already been posted, it's okay. Go ahead and post your questions too. You can add those in the comments. Those will notify me that you've left a comment, and I'm happy to answer your question, reach back out to you, point you to resources, anything, whatever it takes to help you get up and running and help you get started. It's my pleasure to be able to support you as you try to start your business. So I've got a few things, like I said, I've got some information that I'm going to share with you a little bit today. And today, what I'm going to share with you is a little bit about taxes. I want to talk about that, taxes and your small business. And I'm sharing some information with you actually that's coming from a forthcoming book that I'm working on. I'm putting together the Small Business Startup Guide. Will be the name of that book. And so this is some information that's coming out of that book that I'm putting together. So I've just got a few notes here that I'm going to share with you. And then eventually I'll write all this out and I'll get this in the book. So talking about taxes. All right. So, taxes can become a political issue, and I certainly don't want this to be a political issue. That's not what we're talking about here. I want to talk about, first of all, just to kind of set the stage, let's talk about taxes from the standpoint of being the business owner. And let me help you a little bit with a frame of reference. Think of taxes as a key performance indicator that will indicate to you that you are growing year after year. So if you are doing everything correctly in your business, your revenue is going to grow, your profit is going to grow, which means you are going to end up paying more in taxes. Now, that's a good thing. Paying more in taxes because you have more profit is a good thing. So let me go on record and say that here, first of all. Other things, though, that as a small business owner, here's one of the advantages of being a business owner versus being an employee. And this information comes straight from Robert Kiyosaki from the Rich Dad stuff. All right. So if you are leaving the employment world where you've worked for somebody else and you've been their employee, and now you've decided to start your own business, this is going to blow your mind if you don't know this about taxes. So let's talk through this first of all. So first of all, as an employee, let's say as an employee, Here's the money that you make. You are given this much money by your employer. You pay taxes on that employment income that you just made, and then you get to spend whatever is left over. That's how it works when you have employment income, when you're working for someone else. That's the tax situation for an employee. Let's change it now for your small business. For your small business, you earn money. That's your revenue. Then you have this revenue and you get to spend this revenue to grow your business. You might have to buy things to make the sale. You might have to pay employees, rent, anything else, other expenses that you have. You get to spend this money here to grow your business. And then whatever is left over is your profit. You pay tax on your profit, not on your revenue. So employee, here's what you get paid. You pay taxes. You get to spend whatever's left over. Business, you earn revenue. You pay your expenses to grow your business. You pay taxes on whatever is left over. That is a huge difference. So this is where a balancing act comes into play. And this is why you want a really good bookkeeper and a really good accountant to help you with your business, because you do want to have expenses and lower your taxable profits at the bottom end. You do want to be growing your business by paying those expenses. However, at the same time, you do also want to earn profit. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. And that's why I say how much you pay in taxes, even though you want to pay as little as possible, there are legal ways that you can, because your profit comes after your expenses. In business, there are legal ways that you can lower your tax liability, what you have to pay to the government. At the same time, paying more in taxes means you have earned more profit. So it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, all right? And either way, taxes are what they are. You're going to have to pay taxes. That's just the way that taxes are going to work in your business. That's the way that our country works. All right, so every business owner, of course, needs to worry about paying taxes. You need to know which taxes they are. You need to know when they're due. Whether you're an LLC, some type of corporation, sole proprietor, you're going to have payroll taxes that you need to take care of. If you are an LLC or a sole proprietor, you may have quarterly estimated taxes that you may have to take care of. And let me real quickly here throw out another disclaimer. I am not a tax professional. What I'm sharing with you here is just a very basic understanding of taxes. You really need to find a good tax professional who can walk you through when taxes are due, which taxes you need to be paying, how much those taxes are going to be, and can help you make sure that all those taxes get paid. You do not want anything to happen to your business because you've created problems for yourself with the IRS. And I hear about it from accountants all the time about how this client just finally came in and now they're doing 5 years worth of taxes because they got notices from the IRS that they're about to be hauled off to jail and stuff like that. You do not want to be in that situation. So do try to find someone, like I said, who can help you out in this area. That is so critical. Also, do educate yourself at least slightly about what kind of taxes need to be paid for your business, anything that relates to small business. Is there anything for your city you need to know about? Anything for your state, federal taxes that you need to know about? And it would also be a really good idea for you if you could update yourself quickly on just how accounting works. And I'm going to I'll put in another plug here too, real quick. I've got another book that's about to come out here real soon. It's the small business. Now I've lost the name of it. I forgot the name of my own book. The Small Business Accounting Guide. I think I've got a better name than that. But anyway, it's a guide for small business owners that just very briefly, at a very high level overview, walks you through how to understand accounting in very basic, very easy to understand terms. It's not going to make you an accountant. but it will help you to have better conversations with your accountant when you get together with them. So do meet with your accountant to talk about what your tax strategy is going to be. Make sure you also meet with a lawyer about your business structure as well. And if the two of them can talk together all at the same time, even if the three of you could be together on a conversation, that's ideal. So you get the legal structure that you need that provides the best tax structure for your business too. And again, I'm not an expert here. I can tell you what the structures are, but I am not going to try to tell you which one is going to be best for you. That is not my area of expertise. So things that an accountant can help you with. An accountant can help you set up your books to get started. They can help you plan different ways that you can maintain your business expenses, what expenses to track, how are you going to track them, how to file your receipts, any kind of tax savings strategies that you might get into, other strategies for running your business in very efficient ways. So here's some things that I just want to kind of bring to your attention. You may not have been aware of these things. Did you know, for example, that according to the law, you can reduce your tax liability by hiring family members who can work in your business? So you could pay your children, you could pay your spouse to perform different duties in your business. And that way you might be able to shift some of that income for your family from maybe from you, who might be in a higher earnings bracket, and you can drop yourself down into a lower earnings bracket, maybe by paying your spouse just a little bit less. And maybe that'll bring you down into a lower tax bracket as well. Another thing you can do is you can hire independent contractors instead of employees. This is one way that you could save on the employment taxes, unemployment insurance, all kinds of things. There's so many things that you can avoid getting into payroll wise if you hire contractors instead of employees. The only thing you need to be very cautious of there, again, find someone who is very skillful and knows exactly what they're talking about, maybe going back to your lawyer, or maybe finding a really good HR consultant who can help you. You have to make sure that you meet the IRS criteria for an independent contractor. And it's very strict. The IRS in the last couple of years has come out with some new rules about what's the difference between an employee and a contractor. And you want to make sure that you know exactly how someone can qualify for that independent contractor status. Otherwise, if the IRS calls them an employee because of the way that you provide for them or treat them, or the way that you get them to work in your business, whatever that is, you could be liable for all those back employment taxes too. So make sure that you're very cautious on what qualifies as an independent contractor. Let's see. You can take advantage of tax deductions for charitable donations. Did you know that? So if you make donations in November or December instead of January of the following year, then you can include those donations to reduce your tax liability in this year. So that's something else that you can do. Making expenses on office equipment and office supplies. If you buy in advance for a quarter, especially as you're coming up on the end of your fiscal year, but if you are constantly in a state where you're buying in advance, like a whole quarter at a time, then you can make a purchase on this side of your fiscal year end for supplies that you will actually not use until the next quarter. So getting into, say, like January, February, March. So that's one way you can make a purchase and you can get that tax reduction on this side of your fiscal year. If you pay all of your bills that are due before the end of the year, so payments like for cell phones, rent, insurance, utilities, anything that's related to the business can all be included in those expenses, and it reduces your profit, of course, but that also reduces your tax liability. Also, let's see, you can set up a retirement plan and make payments into that retirement plan before the end of the year. That can reduce your income for the year and maybe also end up reducing your tax liability. So depending on what kind of a retirement plan you set up, there are some contribution limits that you'll want to watch out for. And you'll need to make sure you work with a really good professional financial advisor of some kind who can set that plan up for you, who can talk to you about how you make those contributions into the plan. And that can be a tax reduction as well. Other things that you can deduct would be licensing fees, other business taxes that you have to pay, maybe for your state, maybe if it's like a zoning thing, something like that. Memberships to business-related organizations are all tax deductible. You can deduct interest that you're paying if you borrow money to run your business. So you have to pay that interest back, but you can get that back on your taxes, basically. Insurance premiums that you pay for the business office, machinery that you're using, those are all eligible for tax deduction. So keep a list of organizations that you are joining and then check in with your CPA, your accountant, to see if those are deductible wherever you are. Other things you can deduct would be management and administration expenses. Any money that you spend on maintenance and repairs of equipment, those can all be deducted. So look into some of those possibilities. Oh, here's something that your accountant should help you out with. Determine whether you are going to use a cash accounting system or an accrual accounting system. Which one is going to benefit your business the most. And there's some advantage. There's pros and cons to having each of those accounting style systems when it comes to your taxes. Basically, cash means the cash on hand. So you don't count it in your accounting, in your bookkeeping, until somebody actually gives you the cash. The accrual system, though, if you get a contract with someone and you send out the invoice, you already count that as income, even though they haven't actually paid you yet. So depending on your payment terms, could be 30, 60, 90 days, something like that. You still count it as income, even though it's not in your hand yet. And there are some pros and cons to either one of those systems. You know, startup here, it's nice to have cash on hand. So you might be tempted to think, oh, the cash system is best because I want that money in my hand right now. I'm going to tell you, check with your accountant, because there are some advantages to using an accrual system. I'm just not an expert, and I'm not able to tell you what those advantages are. So talk to your accountant about both of those, cash or accrual. That's one thing to ask your accountant. So I keep saying this, make sure that you check with your accountant on what's going to be the best way to manage your accounting and try to minimize your taxes. All right, so just kind of watching here to see, I see someone has checked in with us a little bit anyway, has stopped by, but I don't see any questions that are coming in yet. So once again here at the end, let me just throw this out one more time. If you find this recording of this video and you have some questions about starting your business, it could be on anything, any topic whatsoever. It doesn't have to be about taxes. If you have any question whatsoever that you need some help with, feel free to comment on that. I'll get notified when you leave a comment, so I'm happy to follow up with you and do what I can to help out. I'll either steer you to the right place, I'll try to find an answer for you, whatever it is that you need. But let me just say, working with startups is not a specialty of mine. It's not the style of consulting, business consulting that I do. I can give you some ideas, but quite frankly, you need to get some revenue coming in. You need to get some momentum going before I can really add some rocket fuel to what you're doing. So in the meantime, I'm just happy to help you get started. I want to see you grow and succeed and do well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here, everyone. Looks like a good video for today. I'm going to leave it at this. Check in next Wednesday, and we'll have another topic on deck, and we'll continue this conversation for Startup Convo. Until then, everyone, have a great day. To your success.